Guys, I want to apologize for getting very emotional and very teary-eyed in my last video. I know it's not something you want to see for anyone doing videos on YouTube or doing anything on YouTube. It's just I get really emotional talking about this. I want to apologize for getting really emotional and very teary-eyed and very red on camera. With that said, let's go on with part 2. Hey, what is up you guys? My name is Andrea. Welcome back to my channel. So like I had stated in my last video, there was going to be 2 parts to this little story I had for you guys, and this is part 2 of it. In the first part, I was talking about my relationship and how I got pregnant and how we had told our parents. Well, I didn't really say how he ended up telling his parents, but his parents were like kind of like whatever's about it. He had it easier than I did, but not the point of this video. For this video, I'm actually going to be talking about what it was like being pregnant, how it was like throughout my pregnancy, and then I'm gonna talk about labor. First of all, I did not say at all how old I was when I got pregnant and when I had my baby. So first I'm gonna start off with I was 14. I'm gonna start off where I left off in my last video. So in my last video, everyone ended up fine. They ended up letting us keep the baby even though we were gonna have the baby anyway, and everything was good and everything was fine after that. So a month passes by and I had gone to my school, or my mom did, so I could get help, or the help that I needed for my baby, like the proper doctor, proper everything to make sure that my baby's okay. We had done that. My mom came to my school. She had told them that I was pregnant. They started really giving me resources and a bunch of different people I had to go to because I was pregnant and still in school, and also I was 14. The first person I saw was just a regular doctor, a regular checkup. The doctor visit that I had after we informed the school that I was pregnant was for that. It was for them to refer us to a doctor that would be able to help me or would even see me because I was 14. We did that. We went to the doctor and they had given us like the number or the sheet or something to make an appointment with the OBGYN, which is my obstetrician, which, if you do not know what an obstetrician is just basically a baby doctor. Not your baby's doctor, but you know, your baby doctor. We end up getting referred to this other doctor. I'm obviously not going to say his name or anything, but end up getting referred to him. We make an appointment. I had an appointment for October something, somewhere around October. I had an appointment to check up how I'm doing, to make sure like baby's heartbeat was okay and everything. So the appointment day comes and I go to the doctor, and I didn't meet my doctor right away because he wasn't there. I met this nurse that fills in for him when he's not there. When I went, she was there and I felt a little bit more comfortable. I thought she was my doctor because she was a woman. Not anything specific that I have against male doctors or anything. It just I felt a little bit more comfortable, you know. The first appointment, they were just checking they were just checking my uterus and my cervix and everything, and they were just making sure everything was okay and everything was, you know, nothing was wrong. And they ended up checking my baby's heartbeat. It wasn't there yet, but keep in mind I was just a few weeks pregnant, so it was there. They were like, it's fine if we can't hear the baby's heartbeat yet. It's still very early in pregnancy stages. At this point, I'm about 2 months pregnant. You know, it's not very off that they couldn't get the heartbeat right away, so I wasn't really worried. My mom was, but I wasn't. I was like, no, it's fine. It's, you know, it's good. So then they scheduled me for an ultrasound a few weeks later, and it was somewhere around the 12th or the 16th. During that time, it was around there. This was a ultrasound where they could tell me what the gender of my baby was, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to know yet. I thought maybe I'd keep it a surprise and do like a gender reveal, but I was too anxious or too nervous, or I couldn't wait. But they did have a separate room for ultrasound. We followed the nurse that's not taking care of me but was assisting me on that day. We go with her to the ultrasound room and wear my pants a little bit because the baby is where you would normally button your pants. So, or your uterus is where you would normally button your pants. So I had to unbutton them. So nervous. I was so anxious. I was kind of scared a little bit that I wasn't pregnant, they were gonna find anything. At this point, I did have a little bump, but I was a little bit skeptical on whether or not I was pregnant. So we get to the ultrasound room, and she grabs a little, I don't know what it's called, but she grabbed this little thing and she puts some of this oil lotion based thing in my stomach, and it was really warm. Surprisingly, it was really warm. I thought it was gonna be cold, but it was really warm. Puts the little monitor thing, or I don't know what it's called, but if you have a baby or if you've ever gotten an ultrasound, you know what I'm talking about. She put that on my belly and I saw my baby. I was like, I almost started crying because I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I was pregnant. I couldn't believe that I'm actually gonna have a baby. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. They were just telling me, oh, there's your baby. And my mom, she started getting a little bit teary-eyed, and I did too. And then the nurse asked if I want to know the gender of the baby. And I said, I don't know. I don't know if I want to know. I don't know if I want to keep it a surprise. I don't know if I want to know, knowing my mom's in the room. Not because I had any problem with my mom, but I thought if I should know, I should be the only one to know so that I could reveal it to everyone else. But I told her, yes, I want to know the gender of my baby. And she told me it was gonna be a boy. I knew that I was gonna have a boy just somehow, even if I wanted a girl. And after I got a little bit emotional, I didn't start crying, but I did get emotional, and my mom did too, because my mom, she has 3 girls and 1 boy, so imagine her excitement. But I started getting really excited. That was that. And then later on that day, I told my boyfriend the news, and he got really excited because, like I said, he really wanted a boy, and we were getting a boy. He kept teasing me about it, about how I wanted a girl, like I'm not gonna love our baby, and I don't know what. I was so excited. A few months passed by. It's December. We're living in this small apartment, just me, my parents, and my siblings. We didn't know we were gonna end up moving to a house, and my parents, they were telling us about it, but they weren't clearing up anything or telling us for sure if we were gonna get the house or not. I was really excited. My boyfriend was really excited that I was gonna move a lot closer from him, because before I wasn't. I lived a few miles away from him, but now I'm literally like down the street. Well, not down the street, but I'm a lot closer than I was before. We moved on December 1st. My room wasn't ready yet. I had to sleep with my siblings, and it wasn't anything, but we didn't have any beds. I had a big belly at this point. I'll put a picture right here of how big my belly was at this point. So I was sleeping on a hard, cold floor. My mom was like really worried, and she I thought it was kind of funny, but I guess fair, that they gave me the only mattress that we had, and it was an air mattress. And my siblings got really irritated with me, but was like, I don't care. I was 34 weeks at this point, meaning I was about 7-8 months. Started getting these really strong contractions. I didn't know what they were. I thought maybe they were the Braxton Hicks ones, where they're not false labor, but there are contractions to get you ready for labor, and I had been getting those, and I thought it was that, but they were way too strong. On this day, my parents had decided that I would be with my boyfriend for the night so they can make sure what's happening with me, and they could take me to the hospital in case I am going into labor and I am getting actual contractions. So we did that. I packed some clothes. I was going to spend the night with my boyfriend, and while I was there, I was getting really strong contractions. I couldn't hold it. I was breathing really heavy, really hard, and they got really worried, so they took me to the hospital. I cannot tell you how scared I was. I thought I was having the baby. I thought I was gonna lose the baby because I wasn't ready yet to come out. It was only like 3 or 4 weeks away for him to be ready, but that's still a whole month away. He wasn't ready to come out yet. Get to the hospital, and they check me in. They get everything ready. They put the monitors on my stomach and everything, and I was really scared because I felt like I was going into labor. And I had told them that there was this liquid that had come out of me, like if my water broke or something, and I was really scared that it did or not. Yeah, they had to put these forceps inside of me so they could open me up. I'm sorry if this gets graphic and gross, but they use these forceps to open up inside of me, and you guys, they hurt so bad. Oh my god. I get it, they have to do everything fast to make sure they don't lose any time so the labor doesn't get any worse, or the contractions, but they weren't gentle about it either. It was the worst feeling in the world, and they used this big Q-tip thing to swab, you know, anything that I was talking about. So they take it down for testing, and we were just there waiting and to see what happens. And they told me I was dehydrated. Maybe that's why I'm feeling this contraction. So they put me on an IV. I hated that thing. God, I hated that thing. I hated that thing. It hurts so much. I hated it. But because I was dehydrated, they did have to put it in me to get fluid and to get going and get everything working okay. They did that, and finally the results come back of the swab thing, and they told me I was fine. They told me I was okay, nothing was wrong, I can just go home now. I was like, really? Okay. I still didn't feel good. I still didn't feel okay. I didn't want to go home. I wanted to stay there overnight just to make sure. But They told me I should just go home. I should just, you know, I could go home, and we did. So we packed up everything, I got dressed, and we just went home. I still didn't feel good at all, and I didn't want to go home. I wanted to stay with my boyfriend for the night in case anything else happened, but they didn't let me, and I was like, okay, whatever. I was hoping maybe he would be able to stay with me, but that didn't happen. But I just ended up going home, and I slept. I ate before bed, and I went to sleep. After I did feel a lot better, but I still hated how it went the night before, you know. A few months passed by. It's April now. I'm how many months pregnant? October, November, December, January, March, April. October, November, December, January, February. I'm 8-9 months pregnant now, and I was about to pop. My due date was May 5th. It was getting really, really close, and we were all getting really excited. We had gotten everything ready. I had gotten the baby's crib. I had gotten all of the clothes. I had gotten a lot of presents from the baby shower I had on April 2nd. We're just getting everything ready. We were all very, very excited for the baby to come. We couldn't wait anymore. We really wanted him to come because my belly was huge. It was insanely huge. Not everyone. My boyfriend, he tells me it wasn't that big, but my stomach was huge, you guys. So I was expecting a big baby, but I wanted a little tiny one. It wasn't so easy on me though up until this point. I couldn't grasp is the fact that I still had to take care of my younger sister. She wasn't even a year old yet. She was 9 months. She was around 7-8 months, and I still had to take care of her. I've taken care of her ever since we got into this house. I don't take care of her as much anymore, but while I was pregnant and we had moved to this house, yeah, I was basically like a second mom to her. I had to take care of her all the time. Everyone not threw her at me, but they always gave the baby to me so I could watch her, and sometimes that really irritated me because I was pregnant. I was about to have a baby. I needed to rest and get ready for labor. I needed to get ready, but everyone was just coming at me, and yeah, everyone was just coming at me about this baby. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of people were really coming down hard on me about what I was eating, what I wasn't supposed to be eating, what I needed to eat for my baby. They didn't let me enjoy my pregnancy as much as I wanted it. And I do mean everyone. I mean my parents, I mean my family, all of my family, which also when my entire family had found out I was pregnant, they were not happy. My aunt, I remember specifically when I went to her house, I said this in my first video, but I'll say it again. When I went to her house and she knew I was pregnant, she just really had this out for me, and I didn't like it, and I didn't want to go back to her house ever since then, but I did, kind of had to. It wasn't easy on me. Pregnancy wasn't easy on me because no one was really helping me to make it easy. Everyone was always really pushing hard on me about what I was supposed to be eating, what I wasn't supposed to be eating. Like I said, everyone was really just making me feel really bad. My doctor wasn't making it any better because I had to go to this hospital visit and schedule an appointment yet. He really came down hard on me about it, and I know I'm supposed to do it, but you don't have to come down hard on me that much to where I started crying in his office because of how awful I felt, or how awful he made me feel. Everyone else, and that day it was another ultrasound. Around February, March at this point, and I had another doctor appointment for another ultrasound. Yeah, I did get an ultrasound, and they did confirm for sure I'm gonna have a boy. That ultrasound kind of creeps me out, I'm not gonna lie. That one was really creepy. There was a perfect moment where we did see his face, not long enough to remember what it looked like, but did see his face in the ultrasound, and it was like a perfect moment to get the picture for it, but a little too late, and they took this instead. I mean, I'm happy with it, but it looks kind of creepy, you guys. Like, you can't tell me that doesn't look creepy. On that day, the doctor really came hard on me about not making an appointment for a hospital visit, and so they could show me and tell me what's gonna happen when I do go into labor. And I started crying. Like I said, I started crying because of how hard they were coming down on me. And another nurse in that office was really making me feel bad because I was going through some other stuff, or they wanted me to get therapy, or they wanted me to see a therapist, and I didn't want that. and they really pushed hard on me about it. And I would tell them, I'm gonna think about it, but they were like, no. I would tell them, I'm gonna think about therapy, I'll definitely think about it, or on some level consider it. But the nurse really came down hard on me about it, and she really pushed it on me. That again, I started crying. My mom, I guess she felt bad for me, but I'm not really sure. But I started crying. They made me cry like once too many times. It was awful. The vibe from the doctor's office is just really bad. I don't know if they don't like me or if they have a problem with me because of my age or something, but I get a really bad vibe from where I go. I mean, I have to go regardless. Like, I'm just gonna change doctors suddenly. I really didn't like how anyone was treating me, and like I said, no one was making it any easier for me, because everyone was just coming down hard on me about how I wasn't doing things right or what I was supposed to be doing. A lot of things really went against each other. My mom would tell me one thing, my boyfriend's mom would tell me another thing. Like with cravings, because they were very odd about it. They said I should give in to my cravings. It's really bad if I don't, but it's also bad if I eat every single thing that I crave. How do I deal with that? What am I supposed to do about it? It just felt like everyone was against me, and I know they say they had good intentions and they wanted what was best for me, but that's not how I felt. And I have told my boyfriend about it. I have, so if he sees this, then he knows already. But it's different for everyone, you know, it really is. And for my situation, I don't know why it was so hard on me. I don't know why everyone wasn't helping me out like I thought they would, but I was still 14. There wasn't really much I could do about it. I couldn't just move out. Where was I gonna go without money or a job or the ability to work? What I guess I did enjoy about pregnancy is that I got to eat whatever I want. I did. I ate anything I wanted. I got anything I wanted. Well, not anything. There were certain things that they wouldn't give me, but then eventually they would give in and give it to me. And I know it wasn't good on their part. It wasn't good on my part that I ate it anyway, because I know it wasn't good for the baby. But I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. The day started off with my doctor appointment, because at this point I had to have regular doctor appointments every week or every 2 weeks because I was ready to have the baby. Like I was saying, I went to go see my doctor. It's about the last week that I was supposed to have the baby. Again, I wasn't due until next week on the 5th. When I went, he had asked me if I wanted him to induce labor, meaning if I wanted him to strip my membranes. I'm not sure what he meant by that, but he did it anyway, because I guess I was getting really big, too big for me to wait until my due date. So he did that. A few hours later, I got home. At this point, I was on maternity leave. I started my maternity leave on March 31st. Right away, I felt like I had contractions already. They weren't very big, but I had been reading and kind of learning that that's how they start off. Not very big, but you could still feel them there. And I had told my mom, I think I'm getting the contractions. I think I'm going into labor. And she's like, no, you're crazy. No, he said it wasn't for like another 1 or 2 days, because he did. He said that this isn't gonna right away cause labor or cause me to go into labor. It probably won't start until like a day or two later. So I was expecting that, but I was already feeling them. And my mom said, no, not until later, not until like tomorrow. It's not gonna start. You're being dumb. Those are just those fake ones that you had gone through. It's about 3:30, 4, somewhere around there. It's around that time, and I was asking my boyfriend, he's gonna come over. I'm having really big contractions. I don't know what's going on. I think you should take me to the hospital. I was telling him, either one of us were telling each other. He was telling me, I was telling him. I don't know who was telling who, but that's what was going on. And I was telling him I'm getting contractions. I don't know what's going on. I'm really scared. He came to my house to see what was happening. He came with his mom. They wanted to check on me to make sure everything was okay. And they were like, oh, how are you feeling? How long are you getting the contractions? And I was like, I'm getting them like every 5-7 minutes. And my dad was like, oh, then that's nothing. Usually you get them like 2 or 3 minutes. And his mom too, and I was getting mad about it. They told me if it's repetitive, then I should go to the hospital. And that's what was happening. But they were like, no, it's supposed to be shorter than that. But I was like, can you just take me to the freaking hospital? I didn't tell them, but I was like, can you just take me to the hospital? But then finally my dad, he was like, well, I mean, I think you just take her. I mean, look how she's breathing, because I was breathing really heavily and heavy. At this point, I was like, because like I said, they induced my labor. I was already feeling them. I wasn't supposed to feel them until a day later, but I was already feeling them. So they decided, okay, let's just take her to the hospital. Then let's just go. We're on our way to the hospital, and I'm getting these really strong contractions. At some point, I thought maybe it's false labor. We were like halfway to the hospital when I was thinking that, but then no, they just came back a lot stronger. And I'm like, oh my god, no, I'm in labor. We have to keep going. My boyfriend was right next to me. He was trying to consult me, trying to make me feel a little bit better. And then we get to the hospital, and they wheel me in on the wheelchair. They take me to my room. I get like in the gown that's there. They put me on the monitors, they put me on everything, on the bed, and then we just wait. Nurses come in, and the doctor, I don't remember who it was. I think it was my doctor or it was one of the nurses, but they said they were gonna break my water because it didn't break naturally. I was getting the contractions and everything, and I was ready for labor, but my water hadn't broken. But they didn't want to wait any longer for it to break by itself. Got this little hook thing, and it wasn't gonna hurt me at all, but it was gonna for sure break my water or open up the little sack that the baby was in. And that's what happened, and the contractions came on a lot stronger. Me, foolishly, I didn't know. I asked the nurse next to me that was taking my information. I was like, so am I in labor? And she's like, yes, you are. We popped your water. Like, you're in labor now. And I was like, oh my god, this is it. I'm gonna have my baby. This is it. He's gonna come. I was doing surprisingly well for a 14-year-old. Everyone has always said it. I did surprisingly well because I didn't scream. I did cry because of how much it hurt, but I didn't scream at all. Not one time did I scream. Like I said, I did cry, and I was like, I can't do this at certain points, but I didn't scream. About maybe a few hours later, it's 5 or 6, like 5 through 7 at this point. I hadn't gotten the epidural yet. I was so set on not getting the epidural at all. I wasn't gonna have any drugs. I wasn't gonna do anything. I was gonna have this baby naturally, but I did not realize how much this would hurt. When I decided, okay, you know what, give me the epidural. I want it now. Like I said, it's about 5 or 7 at this point, somewhere around there in the night, not in the morning, in the night, like I said. When I had asked for the epidural, they had checked me, and I was at 8 centimeters. And if you don't know, you have to be at 10 centimeters to start pushing for the baby to come out. And I was already at 8 centimeters, and they were like, are you sure you still want it? I mean, you're already ready. You're about to have the baby. I'm like, no, I want it. I can't handle this anymore. Just give it to me. They put the epidural inside of me, and I just lay there. I calmed down a little bit more. I was feeling a lot better because I couldn't feel the contractions. And some time passed by, and I had attempted pushing. Because I had the epidural, I couldn't push as hard as I wanted to because I wasn't feeling the contractions, if you get me. And they saw like a big problem with that, and they had to lower the anesthesia on my epidural. So when they did, I really started feeling them. My doctor's not in the room. He's not down there checking me. He wasn't in the room. He was in some other room taking a nap. And everyone else was mad about it. But it's doctors and nurses. They have shifts for like a whole day sometimes without sleeping or eating, or not eating, but they do have like 24-hour shifts at certain times. And I didn't think anything of it, but I was already pushing, and the nurses were gonna have to catch the baby if my doctor wasn't there, and they weren't prepared for that. They had to immediately call him because, like I said, he was taking a nap in some other room, and he came in just calmly, just like nothing's gonna happen. I mean, I get it. He is an OBGYN, but he has done this many times, probably a lot of times, probably certain times worse than my situation, but he just was very calm about it. And I was over here just crying, just kind of being like, I can't do this anymore. I was in so much pain because they lowered the anesthesia on my epidural. Like I said, they kept checking up on me, and before the doctor came in, they were making sure I was pushing okay. And there was a certain point where I started swelling, and they were really scared because they didn't want me to push anymore, because if I swelled up anymore, I wouldn't be able to give birth to my baby naturally, and I would have to get a C-section, and they didn't want that, and I didn't want that either. So I had to stop pushing for a while, and they put this big bean bag thing so the swelling would calm down. I kept pushing. I wasn't pushing the baby out, but I was pushing all of the liquid. I forgot what it was called. All of the liquid that the baby was surrounded in. That was all I was pushing out. And my boyfriend was like, don't push, you have to calm down, try not to push. And I was like, I'm trying the best I can. This is super hard. I don't know how I could not push. That's all I'm feeling, or that's all I want to do. Finally, the doctor comes in and I'm ready to push out this baby. I'm ready to just get this over with and meet my child and just let all this pain go away. So they put me up on these stands for my legs, and they wrapped this, I don't know what it was called, but they wrapped these blue things around me, so only me is exposed, not my legs or anything, just where the baby was gonna come out from. It was time to start pushing and to get the baby out and get everything ready for the baby to be here. My mom and my boyfriend's mom were getting really scared, and they started crying because they had to cut me even more open than they were supposed to because of how big the baby was. The baby was a lot bigger than anyone had anticipated or had expected. So they had to cut me a little bit more than they were supposed to. And my mom, she started crying. My boyfriend's mom started crying, and it was just, I didn't think anything of it, but after, I was like, at the time, I was just thinking about myself, how it's gonna turn out, because I was really scared. There were a few times where I almost passed out. I start pushing with all I have, and everyone was telling me, and I'm doing good, I'm doing great, I'm doing really good, and just overall just a lot better than a lot of the other women that come in with their babies. The moment comes where I have to take that final push for the baby to be here. And I remember my boyfriend telling me, just one more push, come on, you got this, the baby's almost here, he's almost here. And I take that final push and I see my baby and I hear him crying, and I'm so happy, and I'm filled with emotion, and I'm tired. I was so tired. I hadn't been in labor for that long. I was only in labor for about 6-7 hours, and he was here. My baby was born at 10:53 p.m. on April 27, 2016. It's here, and after they were taking out everything else, the placenta and everything, and they were sewing me up, and after the doctor and the nurses are there congratulating me, telling me I gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby boy, and I was like, I just want to sleep now. I was so tired. I just wanted to sleep. Then after, we were all like kind of debating on how much the baby was gonna weigh, because he was a big baby. He was a big boy. Oh my god. I could not believe how big he was. My boyfriend's mom was gonna be like, he's gonna be 6 pounds. My mom was gonna be like, he's gonna be 9 or 10. My boyfriend was gonna be like, he's gonna be 6 or 7. And the nurse was like, how much do you think he's gonna weigh? I'm like, around 8 or something, because he's a big baby. He was huge. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but he was a big baby. He was super fat. But then they weigh him and they say that he was 8 pounds 7 ounces, and I was like, I could not believe my emotion when they laid my baby on my chest. I still remember it like it was yesterday, and I'm sorry I'm getting emotional, but just remembering it, I cried when they put him on my chest also, so I'm sorry. When they placed him on my chest, I started crying. I started feeling all these different emotions. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe my baby was here, and I had gone through all that pain, through all that suffering, through all the nagging for that moment. Trust me, this isn't from sadness or from anything. This is from pure joy and just remembering. God, I wish I could go back. In a heartbeat, I would go back to the day I went into labor, just to have that moment again of them laying him on my chest. I'll never forget it. I'm sorry, I'm getting really emotional. But after they weighed him, I should have stated this before. I said how much he weighed and stuff, but then after they weighed him and they told us he was 8 pounds 7 ounces, and they wrapped him up and they brought him back to me, and I just held him, and I didn't want anyone else to hold him. I just wanted to hold him, but everyone wanted me to rest, but everyone else was holding him and I just wanted to rest. I just wanted to rest. Everyone wanted me to just rest, but I just wanted him to myself all the time. I fell asleep for a little bit. They didn't have my room ready. They didn't have anything ready, so I had to stay in the room where I had my delivery for a while until they had my room ready and stuff. And I slept for a little bit, but then after they told me that I have to go to the recovery room. They put me in the wheelchair and we go to the recovery room. Only thing that upset me about this was that my boyfriend couldn't stay with me the night. I really wanted him to stay with me instead of my mom. I don't mean that in a bad way, but I would have really preferred that my boyfriend was there than my mom. I'm sorry, but it's true. 2 days go by and I go home and I'm on the road to recovery. It took me, I don't know how long to recover. In total, I should have been recovered by 6 weeks, and 6 weeks go by and I was all perfectly fine. After labor, I was all swelled up and in pain, but I was fine after 6 weeks. I was okay and everything was okay with my baby. He was a month at this point. I got birth control because I didn't want to get pregnant again, but there was no way that me and my boyfriend were gonna stop, you know. I got birth control and I was gonna get the implant in your arm, the one that goes right here, but they told me it was too dangerous, so I got the IUD instead. I'll put a picture right here of what it looks like. But yeah, I got my birth control and I went on about my life, and now I'm here. He's gonna turn 2 in 3 months. Imagine how I feel. I'm so sad that he's growing up, getting older, but I can't wait to see what he turns out to be, honestly. I'm sorry I got really emotional, you guys. I just can't help it. I love this baby to death. I would do anything for him. Then after I had to go back to school. I was on maternity leave for 2 months. I go back to school and I did, and I finished off and everything was fine after. We were just going on about our lives. We were okay. We're still okay. We did have a few bumps along the road, but overall it was okay and good. I guess there you go. That's my 14 and pregnant story. I'm sorry again, you guys, that I got really emotional in my last video and in this video. I don't know, a lot of things just really get me to. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really hope that you guys learned a little bit from this video or from this story or from this experience, because I definitely did and I still am. I can't wait to see what the future has for me, my boyfriend, and my family. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to turn that notification bell on so you get a notification every time I upload, and so you don't miss out on anything that I do. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media. They're in the beginning of this video, but if you didn't get a chance to catch them, they're linked in the description box below. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I really hope you guys really enjoyed my video and my experience and my story, and I cannot wait until you guys listen to a whole bunch of other stories that I have in the future. Like I said, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.